So why this song? It is a timeless classic of the Visayas, and some even elevate it as the immortal serenade. But for me, it's a little different. So why this song, you ask? It's the melody that reminds me of my lolo, my grandpa. When we had lost him a couple years back, it truly was the worst of times, but for more reasons than one would expect. While mom and dad were overseas struggling against the unexpected downturns of grandpa's condition, I was back in school for vocational training. Without going into too much detail, the experience was damaging and even scarring. Couple that with the frustration I had of not being able to go to the Philippines and help out, it left me emotionally drained. And then weeks, months passed. I received word Grandpa had died, and I felt nothing. As mentioned earlier, I was in the middle of a fast-paced program that was very harsh, and its pace left me no chance to leave during the mourning process. No chance to be with family, no chance to reflect, no chance to grieve. My hands were tied to the plow, so to speak. I was angry and frustrated with myself because of it, and the fact that I could not feel the emotional weight of this loss, it left me scared. What's more, the fact I could not give Grandpa a proper, worthy tribute left me burdened with guilt. And so back to the distractions of my textbooks I went. But as months progressed, by the grace of our Lord, I became reacquainted with the storage box that contained my grandpa's sheet music. These were his own arrangements that he himself composed. In fact, several were arranged specifically for Mom and myself. As I leafed through this treasure trove, I would play through some of them and analyze others, and little by little, memories were being unlocked. Seeing my grandpa's handwriting again, it was like the Lord was opening my heart and giving me a chance to grieve in a way befitting my grandpa. And it was soon that I finally came across his take on the Visaya song, Usahay. At this point, my numbness fell away, being replaced by tears. This song was a song I associated most with him. I remember him lying in bed at home, singing along with harmony to his cassette of the song. I remember him performing this song with Mom at the parties. When he was older and back in the Philippines, I even remember my uncle singing it for him. And when I myself began my own saxophone journey, I remember helping him rearrange it to include me in its performance. The song, it just had his name on it. After seeing his arrangement and knowing how central it was to his life, it dawned on me that making my own arrangement of his favorite piece, using the ideas he taught me, would make the best tribute I could possibly give. The crazy thing about it was, while putting it together, I was being flooded by a plethora of memories of him and his many musical lessons. He was my first music teacher after all, and the most influential one at that. I remembered some of his lessons on the use of percussion and rhythm. I was brought back to his talks about ad-libbing, and I remembered sitting at the dining table while he taught me about chordal relationships. Well, since he was going to have me be his musical scribe, he was bland by that time. So many lessons on so many topics. I even, to my shame, recalled the several musical reprimands he gave me, since back then I was more of a hot rod with a more selfish style of playing. Back then I didn't really leave room for other musicians to enjoy and shine while playing with me. This flood of memories was the closest thing to having my grandpa right beside me one last time. All this to say, my grandpa is my greatest music teacher. He taught me about music, life, and the music of life. He was the one that showed me being impressive does not equal being welcoming. He was the one who taught me that having chops, our musical word for technical prowess, doesn't mean you have already connected with the beating heart of a song, and that at times it can even be a cover for what you don't know. He taught me practical sax skills like growling, vibrato, and the creation of airy tones. He also showed me that solo-mindedness is very limited and very limiting, and that greater joy is found in harmony with the rest of the ensemble, that there is greater meaning in using your skill and role to create a welcoming musical environment that encourages your fellow musicians to build and shine on top of it. and which also allows the listener to not just witness, but swim through and soak in the music as an active participant themselves. So this is why I dedicate this song to you, Grandpa. I love you, and I'm sorry this took so long to finally release.